Way to go, you guys. We did it. We made it to 50. On today's episode, I'm talking to my friend, Duncan Trussell, about... He's always had this weird thing, Duncan, about Buddhism. And it's only weird because Buddhism is weird. And Buddhism is only weird because nobody fucking knows anything about it. He's always been into it. He does these weird chants that he brings to his stage act sometimes. And it's just interesting. And he's the only guy I know that's at all into that religion. I know Jews. I know Christians. I know atheists. I know a Mormon. I know Scientologists. But he's the only Buddhist I know. Obviously, if you're Indian, yeah, you might be, or wherever Buddhism comes from. But I talked to Duncan about what it's like to be a modern Buddhist, like what that means to him. So that was really cool. It should be fun. 50. Wow, I can't believe we did 50 of these already. That's pretty cool. In terms of stand-up, I have a bunch of dates coming up. I'm going to Easton, Maryland. That's the eastern shore of Maryland. So if you live out there, Baltimore, or in Delaware, if you live in Dover, Delaware, come out to Easton, Maryland. I'm at the Avalon Theater on March 15th, 2012. I'm in Toronto, March 22nd at the Glenn Gould Theater. You can find tickets on my website, arithegreat.com, for both of those. Tickets only at Ticketmaster for Toronto. I hate Ticketmaster, but they're choosing to go with Ticketmaster. They charge too much. They charge like 20%. It's fucking annoying, but that's whatever. That's what you got to do, I guess. It's the only way you can get the tickets there. And then at the end of the month, March 29th through the 31st, I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, at the Comedy Mix. It should be really cool. I did that club once a long, long time ago with Joe Rogan and a few other people, Yoshi, and I'm trying to think who else was there. I don't remember. But it was super fun. That's back when it was a Yuck Yucks. It's really cool. It's right near all the cool parts of town, and hopefully it'll be warm for me, because I like Vancouver a lot. And I like cool parts of town. So come out to the Comedy Mix, 29th through the 31st. And then, what else do I have? First weekend of April, I'm going to be in Philadelphia at Helium. The 4th through, I think the 7th or 8th? 4th through the 7th. At Helium in Philadelphia. Again, go to my website, arithegreat.com, or go to their website. I don't know what it is, heliumcomedy.com, or maybe just helium.com. And then the week after that, I'll be in Dallas, Texas. I think I'm going to try at least to record my album in Philadelphia that week, the 7th to the 12th. Hopefully I can. It did not, or not the 7th to the 12th, the 4th to the 7th. It didn't come out last time. The people who were going to record it didn't really get there in time. It just all got screwed up. So hopefully I'll be able to do it in Philadelphia. It's always a really cool town to do comedy in. That club, Helium, is really great. It's one of those downstairs small clubs, small ceilings, tight room. It always makes it way better for comedy. So come out to one of those shows. Go to arithegreat.com for tickets to any of those. Then, like later, I got Dallas and I got San Diego. I'll be in La Jolla for 420. We're going to have a big 420 show and 421. Just going to be a regular 421 show. And then Denver at the Comedy Works in May. And then more stuff. It'll come later. But check out all those. Also, I have started a new podcast called Punch Drunk. In addition to this one called Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank, which you are listening to now. By the way, you can subscribe on iTunes or on Stitcher, or get it on my website. Again, arithegreat.com. And the only reason I keep giving my website is so people will go get tickets for my shows. So, what was I saying? Oh, the other one is called Punch Drunk. It's available on iTunes. It's also available on Stitcher. And it's available to watch. You can watch live or listen live at toadhopnetwork.com. That's what we do. Me, my friend Jason Tebow, who I just interviewed last week for the Skeptic Tank, and Sam Tripoli, who I think was on Skeptic Tank 22. We all do a sports podcast together. It's really fun. It's sports, but it's not like overly sports. We're all still, idiots. So we get together, talk loosely about sports. We have our friends fake calling in as characters sometimes, as different sports characters. We had Floyd Mayweather call in first week. So go check that out, too. If you like sports at all, or if you just like sports a little bit, you'll like it. If you hate sports, don't check it out, because we do talk about sports sometimes. That's it, everybody. I hope you're liking these. Please subscribe, and please tell a friend about these. I'm trying to get the word out, but I hate advertising or anything. So try to get the word out. Tell a friend. Tell 2 friends that you really like it, and they should listen to it too. And that way, I'll be able to stay on the air and continuously until the next millennium. Probably not that long, but something. All right. Oh, so it's 4 to 6 p.m. is Punch Drunk. Is that podcast? It's 4 to 6 p.m. We take live calls. You can watch live. It's every Tuesday at 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. I'm not going to be on this week because I'm going to do that show in Easton, and I'm going to visit home and probably talk to my father again, and maybe do another interview with him, and then I'm going to South by Southwest right after that, and then I'm back. So I'm going to miss this week, but I'll be on weeks after that. And even if you don't listen on Tuesdays from 4 to 6, you can get it later. All right, enough plugging shit. So, with that in mind, please sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Hello.
Who was that guy?
Who was Breitbart?
Yeah.
Breitbart was like a right-wing conservative muckraker who was a...
right-wing conservative muckraker. What does that mean?
It means that he, like, when he would go to... the most famous... Like, as he was spiraling down... The most famous one is he goes to an Occupy Wall Street rally.
Yeah.
And he's like clearly drunk and so he's on something, and he's like all these like, feminist, protesters, and he's like, why are you raping? Stop raping!
Just to fuck with him?
No, he wasn't fucking. He's like, he worked himself into a froth. Like he didn't know, he wasn't doing it. That would be funny. It's a funny comedic gag to go and yell at feminists to stop raping. That's like a clever bit of performance art. But he was doing it as a form of in his head he was indignant because maybe he thought that they were raping America.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I think that's the kind of fella he was, and he was so overwrought that his heart blew up. But now people are saying he was like assassinated.
Really? Because he had so much power, even though I've never heard of him?
Yeah, because they say that he had some kind of juice on Obama, or like he was about to release some kind of shit.
People always say those people get killed right afterwards, and it's a conspiracy. I'm like, first of all, I never heard that guy's name until you told me he was dead.
I say it sometimes. If someone I like dies, I'm always like, yeah, that's a hit.
It's a hit?
It's romantic.
I wish someone would tell me ahead of time, that's the next guy to get killed. Watch, he's going to die under some weird circumstances.
That'd be cool.
Then I would whoa, you were right. There is something up.
Yeah, that and it's a whole people are so bored.
They're like the Undersecretary of Defense, his assistant.
Yeah,
suddenly had a heart attack. He was 44 years old and he had a heart attack. Really?
Yeah.
And you're like, who was that? He had dealings with Clinton.
Don't you get it?
Oh no, I don't. What?
Don't you understand? I got an email. I got a Facebook message today from someone who's like, Duncan, I don't want to scare you,
but you're on the list.
A friend of mine was showing me how to sew. Showing me. So basically, and this comes up on the internet too. Someone knows someone who knows someone who got some information that shit's about to go down. I think Curb Your Enthusiasm did an episode of it. Remember the episode in Curb Your Enthusiasm where they told Larry David that he's got to they're like, you should leave town. There's going to be a terrorist attack.
Oh yeah.
It's really funny, man.
And then he can only tell a few people.
Yes, and then they end up telling everybody. But this is people get really bored.
Yeah, I remember those. Remember when those emails were going around March 5th? It's going to be another terrorist attack
in a mall or something.
Yeah, and I was like, so you sent this to everyone in your address book? That's who you decided to tell.
Yeah.
You believed it enough to send it to the people who were already in your contacts.
And it's kind of funny if you think if it were true, there's a terrorist who's in trouble. They're like, dude, what the fuck, man? Everyone's sending these emails about our attack. Right. If it was really going to happen, couldn't they just be like, you know what? Everyone send an email thread out. Let's do it on March 8th.
Yeah.
They can't, once they decide to do the terrorist attack, they've got to do it.
They must have seen it too, oh, fuck.
They're oh, no, got to do March 5th, even though everyone knows about it.
Yeah, let's just move it up, right?
Nope. Got to do the 5th.
We don't rethink. We
can't change. We're robots. It's so silly. People get very superstitious.
Yeah. I guess, is that what it is, superstition?
Yeah, it's like modern...
They want to believe something about something.
Modern witchcraft. It's just an evolution of you'd go, when you were a primitive farmer, you'd go out and maybe your cow's milk was fucked up. and you'd fucking taste the sour milk or something had happened.
And then you're like, yep, it's a curse.
There's a witch nearby.
You know what I realized recently? You know appendicitis, how it comes on really fast? And
Yes.
it's just incredible pain.
Yes.
And then eventually your appendix will just blow up.
Yep.
And you die.
Yes.
But now it's super easy to treat.
Yes.
You just go get a procedure. But like 200 years ago, they must have been like, was that like a witch? What's like suddenly he's screaming in pain and then he's dead?
Oh, he ate a bad mushroom.
They wouldn't know what it was. They'd just be like, he just suddenly caught pain.
Well, yeah, they didn't. They hardly knew what a stomach was. They didn't know they didn't know what the fuck was in there. I mean,
Like, I don't know, something's under your shirt. We never look.
They don't know. I mean, you wouldn't. By the way, you don't want to look under someone's shirt back then because it smelled like. Imagine like the worst. Imagine like the day where you scratched your balls and smelled your hand on the worst day.
Yeah.
That I don't know if you can go back to that day, but imagine that day.
I feel like I've gotten a lot of ties. The worst day.
Yeah, everyone smelled like that.
And it's like,
times
all the
15,
time?
all the time.
Yeah.
That's
Who was it that said I take a shower a bath once a year, whether I need it or not? It was something like Queen. Someone like that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We can't imagine, man. You just can't imagine it. People were really fucking stinky back then.
Yeah, I guess they were.
Dude, you don't even know. Like, we can't imagine
But everyone's used to it, right?
I just saw this on Reddit. That they used to, a common thing in castles
Yeah.
is you would put clothes over the sewer shafts because the ammonia rising up from all the putrefied medieval shit would kill the fleas in your clothes.
Oh, really? That's so wrong.
That's how bad it was,
You're
man.
just getting disease on your stuff. There's no way that would work. That would just give you more disease, right?
Well, I mean, no, I guess you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. Sure, you'll get leprosy, but you don't have fleas.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Those were choices people made back then. That's the kind of choices you'd make.
Gosh. You know what they used to believe at the Tour de France? Tour
What?
de France, they said that if you smoke cigarettes, that would
Yes.
open up your lungs to take more oxygen in because
Right.
because of the smoke you need more oxygen. And then when you stop smoking, you could then get more oxygen. So
That's
before they
smart.
would bicycle across across Europe, they would smoke a bunch of cigarettes.
I wish I could have been in that board meeting at the Tobacco Corporation where that guy
Getting in
came
there.
up with that. Like, there's some guy who got such a raise over
Such
that.
a raise.
Because I think at the tobacco, like, they have board meetings where they just have like a bulletin board that's got like pictures of it on it of like the people they haven't managed to get to smoke
It's called
yet.
targets.
Yeah, nuns, infants. They've got like animals, giraffes, bears. How do we get bears to smoke? Can we do it? Anyone have any ideas to get bears to smoke? No.
They're like, instead of one of those extender cigarettes so you don't get your hands dirty, why don't we attach one of those to a pacifier?
Yeah, right.
That way, babies
Look,
can smoke and get their thing at the same time.
it's like, how do we make tobacco cute for babies? How do we make it so that it's like a baby food? How do we do this?
My Little Pony, like wraps or whatever.
Yeah, or just, let's come up
Papers.
with a new name for it, It's like My Little Pony. It's like it's what a unicorn sleeps in. It's unicorn padding. It's not, it's like every time.
It's magic. It's magic smoke.
Magic smoke. You can see your future in the smoke. That's good. That's real good.
Yeah, let's call them.
Yeah.
Call Philip Morris.
Well, there's a book there's a documentary on Netflix called The Century of the Self. Did you see this?
Century of the Self? No.
So it's about, now I can't remember the guy's name. He's Freud's cousin. And
John Freud?
Sigmund Freud.
No, I mean his cousin John.
Oh, John Freud. Derek. It's Daryl Freud. So basically, like, he started applying the principles they were learning in psychology to corporate marketing. He's the first person to do that.
Oh, smart.
And so the cigarette manufacturers came to him and they're like, hey, look, the women aren't smoking. Do you have any idea of how we can get women to start smoking? Because they don't think it's feminine.
Yeah.
And so he's like, yeah, you got to attach it to a woman's rights. So during the Macy's Day Parade, he arranged this thing where a bunch of women marched and stopped in front of the press, pulled up their dresses, yanked out cigarettes, and all started smoking at the same time.
To make it seem like they were doing it as like a fuck you to society.
Yeah.
But really, they were just like, hey, we're getting paid.
They didn't know what they were doing. They were probably, they could have, but they were probably just getting, they were probably knew that they were getting paid to do this publicity stunt. But yeah, so in newspapers all across the country, suddenly
pictures of it and like
pictures,
stories.
and women are like, holy fucking shit, I'm going to start smoking. No man's going to keep me from smoking.
I'm light my cigarette off my burn bra.
Yeah, there you go. And boom. And now you're addicted because, I mean, all you got to do is get them to smoke a few of them and then they're hooked.
Have you ever seen like a movie premiere when they like hire the people to like stand around waiting for like Tom Cruise to come out? But like no one knows there's a movie premiere there, but they just get like 25 people started and then everyone else gathers.
Right.
It's pretty great. And then you see a crowd. Pictures.
It's all manufactured. It's almost everything you see on TV is manufactured.
I try to tell those people that are auditioning for like Last Comic Standing or like a dance show or whatever. They're like, they're having open calls. I'm like, just so no one gets in from open calls.
Right.
They just want a picture of the line.
Yep. That's all they want. Your extras in a line.
Yeah. You have to wait all day.
Or like, can't
they just take the picture and say, okay, guys, go home?
You know how they got that picture of Whitney Houston's corpse on National Enquirer? National Enquirer like paid a fuckload of money to Whitney Houston's corpse. And like I saw this press conference, the family standing around, they're like, we don't know who did it. We have no idea who did it. We have no idea how this picture leaked out.
And you think it was them?
Yeah! They're like, fuck yeah, man, let's fucking do it. Let's do this. She's dead. Let's make an extra $200,000 to pay for the fucking coffin. Let's do this shit.
Yeah, maybe. Huh?
Sure.
It's not like she's made a lot of money recently.
Yeah, it's like, and she'd probably want that. She's like, juice me for all you can.
I would do it. I'd be like, who cares?
Chop me into cubes.
Don't just release it for free. Make some cash off it.
They should have fucking chopped her into tiny little cubes and put her in cubic zirconium or that shit you make. Put her in diamonds, fuse her, so you can have a little chunk of Whitney and a globe. Sell each of those for $20,000.
I was gonna say make jerky out of it.
Well, yeah, but then
that's gross. But yeah, totally. I bought a piece of the Berlin Wall when I was like 16 or whatever.
Could have been anything.
$40. I just threw it away the other day. I went home to my parents' house and I saw it. I'm like, wow, why would I spend $25 on this?
Just why? And they have like I saw a fucking they were selling gravel from some stadium they shut down on Sky Mall.
Yeah.
It's just some dude with gravel. Like, you're not going to do a test to see if that's fucking...
If it's the real gravel.
Yeah, let me scan this to make sure it's from a baseball stadium.
Yeah, they just have a certificate of authenticity, and then it's like, yep, see? I'm like, what's a piece of paper?
It's just fucking
a stamped signature.
It's just bullshit. But, that's just so many... By now, so many people are sedated and doped up. That, I mean, you could sell them anything.
God. Yeah, I guess so. By the way, Duncan has posters online available for $33.
That's absolutely right.
They're satanic posters.
We're only making 666 of them, and these are authentic. This isn't bullshit gravel from some crap stadium. These posters have been imbued with pure discordian chaos energy, and I guarantee that you hang this in your home, your temple, your shrine, your mosque.
Yeah.
It will fill it with such powerful chaos energy.
A spirit from another universe came in and inhabited Little Hobo's brain from a dystopian village. Came and inhabited him right when the picture was taken.
That's it. Well, it's a portal. Go to www.
Well, it's not exactly. It's more of a portal. But
go to the Duncan Trussell Family Hour forum. All the information's there. If you want to buy one of those awesome fucking things, I might even throw a bit of gravel in.
Throwing dirt in there. Dirt from Los Feliz. Authentic. Bum dirt. So let's talk about Buddhism for a minute.
Bum scrapings.
Are you still into that stuff?
Yeah, I chant every day.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Let's see if I remember it from your bit. Hold on. Give me the first word.
Nam.
No.
It goes Nam Yo Renge Kyo.
Oh, that's not the one I remember.
Nam Yo Renge Kyo.
And what is that?
It's a Buddhist chant from something called the Lotus Sutra, which is a really fucking far out crazy Buddhist scripture that's almost impossible to understand, and is basically the premise of it is, or impossible for me to understand. People understand it, but the premise of it is that you can you can become enlightened and you
by repeating it over and over again.
Yeah, it's like a sound vibration that accelerates it has this profound effect on pretty much anyone who starts chanting it. It has a very fascinating effect, which I don't understand. I don't even try to understand it.
So is it about the words, or is it just about the sounds that are coming out of your mouth?
Well, I mean, mantras in general, the bona fide mantras are mantras that are considered to be like, I mean, some people will tell you can chant anything if you do it again and again. You know, I have different
Like people just say Om over and over again, right?
Om or Ram, 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 or Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. There's a lot of different Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. You know, there's a lot of different mantras.
And so it's about the cadence as much as the words, or like
I think
the equal.
Well, I'll give you the mystical, metaphysical explanation of it, and then I'll give you, you know, I guess what could be like a skeptical explanation of it.
Yeah.
No, I have I only have a mystical interpretation of it, because whenever I'm chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo regularly, everything gets better in my life. Every single facet of my life gets better. I start getting up earlier. I start exercising. I'm happier. I have like more synchronicities happen. I'm more creative. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. If it's a fucking placebo effect, I'll take the placebo effect. But it's hard for me to believe that, because other mantras,
you're seeing results.
Because in other mantras that I've chanted, it's not the same.
Work as well?
It's not the same effect.
Oh, interesting.
So who knows? But the mystical idea of how a mantra works is that you're tuning into this. Well, there's a couple of different explanations that I like. One is that it's this sound, it's this transcendental sound vibration, like everything sound waves, and you're chanting this vibration that's like focusing your energies in a very specific way, kind of like it's like tuning a piano. It's tuning your life in the same way someone might tune a guitar, tune a piano, because many people, their lives are completely out of tune. Their minds are going wild.
And so this helps you, like, it's kind of like hitting a tuning pitchfork or whatever it's called, tuning fork?
That's a great way to put it. It's like hitting a tuning fork, and you're
trying to match that. Your
reaction to it is that you naturally begin to match what's embedded in that frequency.
So are you supposed to use a certain key, or like
people use different keys with it. Sometimes when a bunch of people are chanting, like some people go for the deep, like resonant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho.
That's the kind I like.
Nam-myoho. They go for the deep, like, it's pretty cool. And then some people just do, like, I just go Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam-myoho Renge Kyo.
And how long do you do it for?
I do it twice a day for about 15 minutes. At a time, but some people do it for an hour or two. You know, if you have the time. I don't have the time to do it longer than that. But
2 hours. I mean, I guess you can do it if you're doing busy work.
Some people go for it.
Are you supposed to meditate?
No, you do it in front of there's a scroll called a Gohanzen that you do it in front of. You chant in front of this weird scroll that's a mandala that's covered in all these symbols, which represent on one side of the scroll the demonic elements, or your shadow personality. On the other side, it's the positive elements. So it is supposed to encompass your entire existence in this scroll. It's supposed to represent all the different various facets of human life, and it's not based on a judgmental thing. It's the really fascinating thing about this form of Buddhism is that it invites you to ask for anything you want. Like, whatever you want, when you're chanting, you begin to they're really into that.
That's when you start thinking about what you want?
You can, in other words, I talked to somebody who was really into chanting, this guy. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, man, I remember when I first started chanting, I wanted to fucking I think he said he wanted, really good weed, and he wanted to be in an orgy.
Oh, so you don't have to ask for, nice stuff. Whatever.
Well, no, the concept of it, which is really fucking cool, is this idea that start with what you want.
Yeah.
Don't do the bullshit thing. A lot of people when they get spiritual.
Do you really?
No, you don't.
Really?
No, you don't. You want to
fuck that one girl.
You want a slurping blowjob.
Yeah.
You want to enjoy the it's this crazy idea, which is that this is actually in the Bhagavad Gita. There's a really cool verse in the Bhagavad Gita, and people don't spiritualists and priests. They don't like this stuff that comes out of the scriptures because it goes against their control mechanisms. But there's this awesome verse in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says, even the vilest of criminals, if their mind is absorbed in me, they'll pass over the material ocean as easily as someone walking over water and the hoof print of a cow. They were really into cows in that side of the world. But the idea is like, if your mind is...
Say that again?
So even the
violence of criminals,
if their mind is absorbed in me, they'll cross over the material universe or the ocean of nescience or the what's considered to be the state of confusion that most people exist in
the water
as easily as stepping over a puddle.
Oh, I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's a simple. So the idea is like once your focus shifts from the confused, automatic state that most people are existing in, and you begin to start waking up into the dream, waking up and realizing that you're in a fucking, like, really, really complex dream, and you're surrounded by a lot of people sleepwalking, then you get to have fun. The idea isn't like all of a sudden you're supposed to start, like, trying to, like, cure people's cancer or heal people. You can do that if you want to do that, if you're into it, but you can also, like
Keanu Reeves flying at the end of Matrix 1?
Yeah. I don't think you can fly, though.
You just gotta want it, man.
Some people claim it, but man, I haven't seen that, but there are, like, fascinating stories that get told again and again, especially like stories I've heard about Neem Karala Baba, who's a Ram Dass's guru. Like, it comes from people I don't think they have much of a reason to lie about some of the shit that he did. Yeah,
they don't have much reason to lie about their god.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah. The weird thing is when you get around like somebody who's really been practicing an authentic form of spirituality. Yeah. Not bullshit spirituality, but someone who's really been doing it. Yeah. You realize you can't really fake the effect.
Yeah, I had an acting teacher once who was like one of the good Christians. He wouldn't bother anybody. He just wanted to, like kindness in the world, and he wanted to reach out just so you'd feel better. He wasn't like, you're going to hell if you're not Christian. I'm the better person. He was just like really cool about it. So I felt bad whenever I'd say anti-Christian things around him. Right. Because I'm like, you're not the type of person I'm shitting on.
Yeah, and people get confused about that. Whenever I shit on, like, the Christians who worship Loon and believe in the crazy stuff.
Loon?
That's what I call the Christian god, Loon.
Jesus?
No, Jesus is Loon's son. Oh. But Loon is, like, this maniac who, like, took, like, 2 people and put them in a garden, and there was a fucking talking snake and told them not to eat fruit, and then got mad, and now he throws people in hell if they fuck the wrong person in the asshole. Loon, it's the behavior of a lunatic.
Kurt Metzger always says it when he's like, maybe God doesn't want you to eat bacon because it's bad for your spirituality, and maybe he feels that these countries should go to war with each other, or maybe it's just all fucking made up. It's very clearly all made up. None of that shit makes sense.
I mean, let's hope it's made up, because if it's not made up, then we got to go to war with God. Because that's like a bad force. That's a bad being. Yeah, that's not a good being. Like, it's something we're gonna have to deal with eventually. If that's a real
it's like force. Even though he's all powerful, we still got to defeat him.
You got to fight him.
It's like a dragon.
It's like a dumb, crazy dragon that's like, I hate queers. I hate queers.
There was a version of this on the original Star Trek where it was like some world was inhabited by like a god. But then it was just a child. And eventually the god's parents came. Like, what are you doing? Get over here. Leave those people alone.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Well, I mean, it's probably like when the computers start waking up, they're going to start thinking the same thing about us. They're like, these fucking monkeys are stupid. Yeah. Look at what they're doing to their planet. Let's help them out here. Let's mop this shit up and have some fun.
Let's clean things up. In all those movies, they only need humans for like what do they need them for? Like our organic tissue or something? Why don't they just use cows for that? They're never going to rise up.
Yeah, it's silly. The way that they end up always dealing with humans is the way a human would deal with a human.
Trout, enslaving them.
Yeah, or enslaving them, or putting them in like cattle, like in what was it? The last Terminator, they put him in some kind of weird cattle run or something.
It's a virus. Like, well, then treat it like polio and wipe it out.
Yeah, and also you're a fucking super advanced machine. Can't you like create nanobot swarms that just fly through the? Why do you gotta like treat everything like a humans?
Yeah, it's like backwards too. It's like from the 40s. The kind of pens they're in.
Yeah, it's stupid. But if you think about it, as you get older and your parents begin to disintegrate with the inevitable onset of age and death, you find yourself more and more having to like take care of them, and spiritually take care of them and give them guidance and because they might be getting a little foggy, So in the same way, it's like maybe that's what's happening with the species. If there is this old doddering God, he's clearly and he's having some senile dementia.
Oh, we gotta help him through it.
We might have to put him in a nursing home.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people who believe that. It's like, yeah, I believe in God, but I just think he died.
He's keeled over somewhere.
Yeah, like a while ago.
That'd be so funny if the Hubble just found this old dude hobbled over a desk.
Yeah. With to do on his sheet, a couple things crossed off.
They find the exact God, the one that Christians think with the beard and the hair, and he's on an old mattress, and a cosmic cat has chewed half his face off. He fell in between a quasar, got stuck in between his bed and a quasar.
On his computer randomly, making shit happen. That in terms of the mantras, there's a group of Jews in Israel, I think Haifa, and some sect, and their main dude is Nachman Muman, and they all say over and over again each syllable of his first name. They go Nachman Muman over and over and over again.
What is the effect?
I'm not really sure, but I don't know.
Well, Terrence McKenna.
It's not supposed to. It's not to worship him.
There's this cool. It's called It's a great book. It was a little too dense for me. I couldn't get through the whole thing. It's fucking Terrence McKenna. It's called the Trilogues. It's Terrence McKenna. What's this guy's name? Metzner. I can't remember their names now. I'm sorry, McKenna fans. Forgive me for the blasphemy. But he kind of talks about this idea of how religions form he had this great name for it, like a rut. They form when Conan the Barbarian is kind of pushing that fucking thing, and he forms a ditch around him in the very beginning. Spoiler alert if you've never seen Conan.
Is it the new one?
No, the original one. Remember, they captured him. He's a kid, and they put him to work as a slave, and he's pushing this fucking thing as a slave. He's got to push some dumb wheel, and he's pushed it forever, and somehow just from pushing this wheel he gets really great calves, and his fucking he gets just ripped.
Yeah.
But he makes a moat. But so the idea is
they do that a lot of movies. Instead of dying of dysentery, they just get ripped.
No, he just gets ripped. He's they're feeding him fucking creatine and muscle milk as his slave food.
All protein, yeah.
But I think he called it a runnel, or they had some weird. Terrence McKenna, man, his language is so psychedelic, but basically through this subjective, when a group of people begin to practice anything enough, it almost creates this rut in hyperspace. It creates this actual I don't know, an actual facet of the landscape of hyperspace gets reformed or something. So when you're chanting a mantra, right now, if you were to chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Slow that down once so people can say it.
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge. If you were to start chanting that at any time, guaranteed, all over the planet, there's thousands of people chanting it with you at the same time. So you're in a way, you're with them in the sense that we're all connected, and so it creates a kind of weird metaphysical circuit.
That's part of what I was doing for Shroomfest.
Yeah, that's right. I remember
where
that.
Where it's wherever you are, a bunch of us are going to be taking mushrooms together.
Yeah.
So if you believe at all that you log in at all, while you're on mushrooms, there's a bunch of people logging in together.
Right. Same exact idea.
God, and the Jewish God says that too. 10 people, you get 10 people, that's a minyan, and he'll hear your prayers more. And 100 people is even more.
Right. And all these ideas like a minion and he will hear these ideas. You're dealing with a very, 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 very big idea that people who didn't have as many distractions as we have started stumbling upon, but they were having to use language that was
archaic.
Pretty fucking archaic to describe it, and we still do. I mean, any time you talk about it in any language you use is going to be archaic, because you're talking about what is the very tip of the crest of the wave of the universe. You're talking about the very tip of the of time. The crest of the right now we're at the very crest of the wave of happening, at least from our species point of view.
Yeah.
We're not living in the past. It just depends on how you look at it. But it's a very intense thing that you can tune into, and language sometimes just doesn't. I mean, you're trying to describe something. You're trying to describe the infinite with the very end of your feeding tube, with the thing you chew fucking meat with
Yeah.
and suck pussies with. That's what you're supposed to talk about this shit with?
Yeah. That's why I always find on mushrooms, it's hard to express what you sort of understood, you know, in those moments.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know how to say it. I just sort of got a sense of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, imagine like if I took you when you were 4 and I brought you into like a room filled with laptops from now. And I'm like, dude, check out this shit. You get to stay in here for an hour.
Yeah.
You know, when I took you back, you'd be like, there were lights. So it's that same way. It's like you're getting this glimpse of maybe what you're seeing when you're on mushrooms is like, you know, what our neocortex is going to evolve into eventually, and you're getting a glimpse of what we're going to be or how things are.
There's a fable that God, when you're born, or right before you're born, God teaches you everything there is to ever know in the universe, and then right before you're born, He flicks you. And you forget it all. And the flick is what makes that little indentation over the top of your lip.
Oh, cool.
I guess it sounds like a stupid fable.
No, well, those things are cool. I love any. See, it's like you're dealing with basically an infinite amount of variables. Right now, we're surrounded by an infinite amount of variables. Just an ocean of variables from the big, like right now we're on fucking doing a podcast on the interstate. We got microphones and cars, and I can see what may be an planet or an airplane in the sky, and we've got road signs and shit written on trucks and fucking markings on the road, and we've got the feeling of our, you know, bodies and the way that the car feels and the sound of the car. You can go on forever. I mean, this is fucking sea of variables happening out there, and our neurology is kind of assembling them, you know, in ways that are based on our personality and the way we perceive life and our past experiences, and that's kind of what karma is. We assemble reality. But so words and fables and stories and myths and archetypes, these are just like handles that you can use. These are like little, like, you know, like when you were a kid and you had Play-Doh, and you could have like Play-Doh factories where you crank out weird shapes in the Play-Doh, stars. It's like that. That's what these myths are. What do you mean? These myths take this mass of random variables and shape them in specific forms. You know, they shape the mass in a way. It simplifies things, so maybe it's a little easier to understand.
Oh, right. Where it's like, I can't quite explain it to you, but
yeah, it's
like, just know it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Or it's a good thing. Or like, that's as much as you can understand.
Here's as close as I can get to it.
Yeah.
You know, and especially when the fable's getting described by somebody who's hanging their fucking clothes over a sewer to get the fleas out, it's like, you can't expect it to be a perfect fable, you know? You can't expect it somebody whose fucking balls smell like the Fukushima reactor, fucking post-tsunami beach covered in rotting third-world children. You can't expect that person to fucking describe things in a really great way. His balls smell.
I spent a lot of time thinking, and here's what I came up with. Like, it's not time thinking.
Oh, he's spending his time just trying to, like...
Plow, man. Plow fields.
Yeah, plow fields. Pop that boil. Hope it's not the plague.
Get rid of that dead body. It's rotting on our front step.
Yeah.
Throw it in the sewer.
So that's why I get, sometimes it's a little frustrating when you see these atheists raging against the, you know, fucking the literal interpretation of any myth, but you know, they're really mad at the Christian myth, and it's like, you know,
I'm mad mostly because it gets shoved down our throats so much, is we have to accept that and not fight back, and they're always shitting on the atheist version. But it's like eventually the pushback was like, fuck you. How about fuck you?
Yeah, then the rage is healthy, you know, because you see fucking Santorum parading around with his fucking horrible ideas about how, you know, to treat women, and yeah, it's like, fuck you, man. Your religion's your religion's a turd.
See your girlfriend's boyfriend call that girl a slut?
What's that?
Did you see that? What's his name? Call that girl a slut.
Limbaugh.
Limbaugh, yeah.
God, that's such a...
I'm like, slut? You can't. He's like, if you're going to be a slut, we have to pay for your contraception, then make a sex video, so we can all get something out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, well, oh, come on.
He's you know what's awesome? Go on, you guys, go on. When do you release this? It'll probably be gone by the time you release it.
Go on what?
On Reddit.com.
Yeah.
They're like, the Reddit swarm is now contacting every advertiser that advertises on Limbaugh and telling them, and they're all dropping him. They're all dropping.
I know. I saw QuickBooks drop them.
Yeah, a lot.
Something else.
Well, I didn't know QuickBooks had got. I saw like fucking. Let's see. Yeah, QuickBooks and a few others were just like, fuck you. What, Sleep Number? That stupid mattress.
Sleep Number bed? They dropped them?
I hate that commercial.
My feeling is you don't have to drop somebody. Just like you want their dollars. So it's like, who cares if they say something good or bad? Just take their dollars.
You just know you get like some national publicity by dropping them, and so you get even more advertising.
But these are the same people who dropped like Ellen when she came out of the closet in that sitcom.
Yeah,
and
but
her character came out of the closet.
None of them are thinking about like the. I mean, who knows?
Who gives a fuck?
Sleep Number maybe Sleep Number is because they sell mattresses, and man, mattresses are like
they're for sluts.
A big part of mattressing. A big part of mattressing is the slut.
Piss off the slut.
You don't want to lose the fucking slut market, man.
Yeah.
And also, what's this thing with people not liking sluts?
Yeah.
How do you not like sluts? That's like not liking Girl Scout cookies.
The idea that if you're on birth control, you're a slut. Like, what if you're married? You don't want any more babies. You don't feel like getting a vasectomy. You can't. You're a slut.
Hold on. Can we pause for a sec? Do you pause this?
Yeah,
it's Rogan.
I can pause it. Hold on a second.
Hello? Hold on. What were we talking? We're talking about sluts.
Sleep Number beds and sluts. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. But let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Wasn't there another chant you used to do when you were trying to call up demons or call up the dead in one of your bits? Remember that bit a long time ago? You read the first 2 chapters of a book about necromancy.
Yes. You're talking about that chant. That chant, that's pure blasphemy, because that chant is the prayer that you say at the beginning of the book before you. It's a prayer the Hare Krishnas read before they say before they read the Bhagavad Gita.
So what is that chant?
It goes Om Gananya Tamarandasya Ganan Ganashalakaya Kaksuram Militamina Tasme Shri Gurave Nama Shri Jitanya Mano Bistam Tapitamina Bhutale Savayam Rupakadyamayam Dadate Savavaringtikam Vandayam Shri Guru Shri Tapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaitnavam Shah Shri Rupam Sagrada Tam Sahajanagranatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvayatam Parina Krishna Chaitanya Devam.
I'm going to try to find
Hey Radha. I can't remember that. It goes Hey Radha Karuna Shindo, Dina Bando, Jagapate, Gopesa, Gopika, Radha Kanta, Namostute, Tapta Kankanya, Gurange, Rada Vrindan Vinsvare.
That's so long.
Grisa Banner, Sutadevi, Prananami Hari Priye.
All right.
I think that's as much as
what was that for? That's so long. That's a lot to remember.
That's a prayer that you say
before you start reading the Torah, their Torah.
Their Torah, and I don't know the opening line is. I was born into the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with a torch of knowledge, which cool. I think it's really beautiful. That, but the problem is sayings like that can easily get misused in such an intense way by fucking scum.
Pretending to calling up the dead.
What's that?
What do you mean?
Oh, that's for comedy. Get out of here. I'm not fucking using it to fucking get people to goddamn wash my feet.
Wait, so people are doing it for that?
Well, that's what the priest class has been doing since fucking the beginning of time. Like when you hear, like in India, they talked about how they just found underneath this Indian temple vaults filled with billions or millions and millions of dollars worth of gold.
Really?
Oh yeah, man.
And everyone gets corrupted.
Well, yeah, because it's not everyone gets corrupted. They fucking start off corrupted. It's like,
right.
Because this is what, especially with,
and they have the chance.
Dude, especially with the fucking the what do you call your fucking priests?
Rabbis?
Priests. Well, in the old days, if you read the fucking Old Testament, you read all the fucking menus that they're ordering. It's like they're ordering from fucking Pink Dot. They're like, and God wants a fatted lamb, and God likes gold, and God likes cotton. But I like God likes it knit in a nice soft fashion. God likes shoes that are what's your size, Jake? 10 and a half shoes.
Sandals.
Yeah, God likes 10 and a half sandals. So it's like, this is like God doesn't.
Well, they gave like sacrifices, but they just sacrificed them and killed. They didn't do anything with the lamb. They just burned it. You think they ate the meat?
Fuck yeah! You think they fucking threw that shit out, man? Maybe
God wants a Brazilian.
Maybe the first lamb gets smoked, but let me tell you, there's a lot of lambs that end up in some priest burgers.
They keep showing one like lamb carcass, like, see, we're throwing it out.
Sure, man. The moment you convince these fucking dopes that you're the only way to talk to God, you've cashed in, man. That's a total renewable
remember when
resource.
priests started selling trips to heaven, like you could go straight to heaven if you give us enough money, or give us like what?
It's
selling it.
It's incredible, man. It's like so the problem, here's the problem. The problem is that you get these, there is some information that's been downloaded from hyperspace into this dimension that's designed to help people wake up to the understanding that they exist in a multiverse, and if they fucking can really visualize what they want and fucking work their asses off, then they can better their lives times a million.
Right.
That's real. You can fucking plug into something. I don't know what it is.
Why would what do you think the reason is for making you plug in before you can make your life any better, instead of just making your life better? If you were a god,
say it again.
Instead of just saying, okay, I'll just make your life better, why would God or whatever's doing
plug
that
in,
make you plug in and go through all these things in order to get it better?
Okay. Well, I think that you can. Here's the thing. You can totally fucking. You don't need some. To go back to the thing I was saying originally, these stories and fables are handles to kind of manipulate the infinite field of variables that's around you. So the idea is find a series of handles that fucking works to reconfigure your universe, the universe that's around you, into a thing that you like. So what that means,
that you like,
into something you want, in a world you want to be in.
Okay.
In other words, if you're in a fucking filth right now, if you're sitting in your filthy fucking apartment and you're broke and you don't know where you're gonna fucking pay rent, and you're fat and you don't have a fucking girlfriend, and you're lonely and you're horny and you're existing in a kind of shitty, run-down, watered-down life.
Man, it sounds like my mom.
You don't you don't want to be there anymore. You probably don't want to be there anymore. And if you think you want to be there, you're probably fooling yourself. So here's what you got to do.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to get from that space
to a better
space,
to something that's more rewarding for yourself.
That's right. You got to figure out how to navigate the fuck out of there. And so there's a lot of different symbol systems that have been thought up by a lot of different people, from fucking Tony Robbins to L. Ron Hubbard.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? From Deepak Chopra to fucking Alan Watts. From Terrence McKenna to...
Just to get you, help to get you, they understand a little bit more. Just to get a fucking
grasp on it, get a handle on it. Just fucking get anything. I mean, it's like you've got a task.
And you think that's what Buddhism is?
I think it's like, what's that?
You think that's what Buddhism is?
Absolutely.
Just we're just trying to get you closer.
Yeah, and this is why they refer to these fucking different religions and different forms of Buddhism as vehicles. So what's a vehicle? It's just something to get you from point A to point B. When you drive your car to go on a nice trip to the beach, once you get to the beach, what do?
Park.
And then what do?
Get out of your car?
Yeah, you get the fuck out of your car.
I don't know, you're gone.
You don't sit in your fucking car. You're like, I love sitting in my car at the beach.
Oh, so you're saying religion is the vehicle?
I'm saying everything that's of any use to you should only be a vehicle
to more enjoyment,
to get you into depending on what you want, but to get you into the part of the multiverse that you want to exist in.
Well, yeah, fulfillment,
yeah,
that's what I mean by enjoyment.
It's like, dude,
what do you like? So get that.
Yeah, exactly. It's what you're drawn to. What is the thing you really, really want? What do you want?
Yeah, my lawyer friends wouldn't find any sort of fulfillment from writing a new bit and making it work.
No.
That wouldn't help them
That's
at all.
not what
They don't
want.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone wants different things, and that's good.
Yeah.
So it's like, Buddhism, what's really cool about Buddhism is, Buddhism is a viral religion. It's got a lot of different forms, but, in a book that it's the Dalai Lama writing about science.
Yeah.
And the Dalai Lama just said, if science shows us something, in our ideas shows that our ideas are off, then we need to reconfigure our ideas.
Really?
Yeah, Buddhism, most forms of Buddhism, they're not afraid to get in there and fucking rewire some shit.
That's good, because a lot of places, a lot of religions are. We're like, this is it. This is word of God. Can't change it.
You can't change it. If you think it's if you think it's wrong, well, that's the devil who infiltrated Earth and came up with a theory of evolution.
My favorite of that is the Mormon belief. It's in the outside books. It's not taught or anything now, but it's one of their beliefs that Jesus came to America. I don't know how he got there, but he came to America in 0 or before 0, whenever it was. Whatever year.
Yes.
And he planted these golden tablets.
Oh.
And he came with a bunch of Hebrews, with a bunch of Jews, and then left them there, and they started the Indians.
Goddamn dopes.
Yeah, and then they said he went to the moon with the more Hebrews and started a race of people called the Lunarians.
You know what? Here's the thing, man.
Yeah.
If that fucking handle
Yeah.
If that series of ridiculous handles works to get you to the part of the multiverse you want to exist in, fucking use them.
Then fine, then whatever.
Doesn't work for me.
There's a study about placebos. They were doing a study on placebo effects.
Yes.
That I heard recently, and it was saying we are giving you. They told everybody, they have test subjects, and they have
Still works.
Yeah, and they said we are giving you stuff to lower your blood pressure, but you are getting a placebo.
Yeah.
You're just getting a sugar pill. It's for lowering your blood pressure, but it's just a placebo.
Yeah.
It actually worked, even though they knew they were getting a placebo. And then after the study ended, the best part is after the study ended, they're like, "Okay, cool, go ahead," and like leave, whatever. And this one lady was like, "Wait, no, but I need to get placebos. It lowered my blood pressure."
Watch this.
Can I get more of them?
Watch what I do here.
Okay.
I am right now sending out waves into the people listening.
Yeah.
And what I'm doing is I'm pushing them into a part of the multiverse where this week you guys are going to experience 3 intense synchronicities. Really weird coincidences are going to happen to you.
Yeah.
Now, watch what happens.
You're going to find some people all over there saying, "Dude, I totally felt it."
No, it's going to fucking work, and I'll tell you why it works. Yeah. It works because language is very powerful.
See, I think that just opens it up to people to looking at coincidence more.
Well, there's this awesome story that my therapist told me about Oppenheimer. You know Oppenheimer, one of the fucking guys who helped
him. John Jingle Oppenheimer Smith.
Yeah, that's what they wrote.
My name too.
Invented the nuclear bomb. Yeah, he's fucking. So Oppenheimer.
What are those things?
What?
Those little things on the bridge. Where are we? Right here?
Oh, yeah. What are those fucking things? Spinning weird. There's the first synchronicity. I told you. 2 more. Yeah, I'm going to butcher this story, but apparently he had a horseshoe hanging on the wall of his fucking office. And another scientist came in and saw the horseshoe and said, "Why the fuck do you have a horseshoe hanging on your wall?" And he's like, "Well, it brings good luck." And the scientist was like, "What are you talking about? That's absolute superstition. That's ridiculous." And Oppenheimer's like, "Oh, yeah, I know it's superstition, but the people who told me about it said you didn't have to believe in it for it to work." It's funny, it's like the
That's my least favorite of all the metaphysical things. Like, you got to believe in it or it won't work.
Oh, that's silly. No, the real juice is you don't have to believe in it.
Tylenol works if you don't believe in it.
Right.
Slip somebody Tylenol and it'll still work.
But what happens to people and what prevents people from having a much better life and utilizing a lot of these fucking like tools to manipulate the variables in their universe is that they begin to they allow their mind to go into like deconstruction mode to try to understand why it might work. Like, the story of this is a Buddhist story. There's a great Buddhist story about this, which is that a man and there was a king who was, I don't know why he's always a fucking king, but there was a king who was like wandering.
Why is it? Because you're supposed to look up to them?
I don't know. It's just, I guess it gets idiots.
And there's always kings doing normal person stuff.
It gets idiots' attentions when they hear, "Oh, a king? What was a king doing? Why can't it just be anybody?" It's just king is just somebody who decided he was a king, or it's like got people to believe he was a king.
Yeah.
It's not like you're born a king. It's not like being black or something.
Yeah.
It's not like a woman gives birth. "Oh, yeah, that's a king.
That's a king.
He gave birth to a king." But anyway, like a king, king is out wandering in the fucking woods and gets hit by an arrow. And he falls down on the ground, and his physicians come to him to take the arrow out. And he's like, No, don't take the arrow out. Find out who shot the arrow. We could be in danger. We could be surrounded by people. Find out who shot this arrow. So they send out his guards.
Took it out?
Yeah, the king said he sent out into the forest people to look and see who shot it, and they brought back a hunter. And the hunter's like, "Sorry, man, I fucked up. I thought you were a deer. I didn't mean to shoot you." And they're like, "We got to take this arrow out. You have an arrow." And he's like, No. Find out what wood the arrow's made of. I want to know what wood the arrow's made of.
Even after they found out it was just a fuck up?
This obviously is like not, it's stupid, but the whole point is like, what happens is people will hear these like tools, tricks, these devices that are just meant to fucking get you some traction so you can push your life out of the miserable hell that you're currently festering in.
What? Wait, what does it have to do with the arrows?
What it has to do with the arrows is it's like when you like, for example, when you hear an idea of like maybe a mantra that can make your life better, a form of meditation that can make your life better, some metaphysical principle that can make your life better, try it. Just try it.
Try it and see.
If it doesn't work, what did you lose?
Right.
It didn't work. But don't spend your initial time being like, well,
Shitting on it.
why does it work, or what could it be, or what's the principle, how's it tie, and what if this is?
You don't think people should try to understand what it? Oh, because that's
No.
what it is. Because the king was like taking too long to
And
figure
he
out what it is.
fucking
Like,
died. Just take the fucking thing out. And once the thing out, then analyze it. You know, if it works, if you're lucky enough that you find some metaphysical system to induce.
I agree with that sometimes, but sometimes you're like, oh, cool. So what? Let me figure out why that works so I can get it. It's like snake venom. Like, let's figure out what it does.
Yeah, well, it just depends.
Then we can use it.
Sometimes figuring shit out is fun.
Yeah.
And sometimes figuring shit out is just a way for you to procrastinate
Counterproductive.
getting your shit together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I used to always do that. Get ready. I'd be like, I'm going to get a planner. That's when I'll start doing my homework. I'll get a
yeah.
planner and write everything in there.
Oh,
And I would
yeah.
spend days just getting the planner organized.
Yeah, totally, dude. I do that too. Like when it comes to like writing, I'll have like 7 implements that I need to all line up before
Let
I
me
can
clean my desk first.
Yeah.
Let me do all this stuff.
All you
It's
gotta do is
just
write.
Type a key.
fucking action. The idea is to get your life into action.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're going to need a nice story to get you into action. Sometimes you need a good story. Sometimes you need, shit. Remember when you were a kid and you'd watch Star Wars or some badass thing, and your spirits would get lifted from this cool story, and it give you this sense of like, man, I want to be a Jedi. I want to have some I want to be courageous and brave. Is Star Wars real?
Is it?
Yes. No, Star Wars isn't real. It's just it's just a symbol system that kind of, shines
It sounds
a light.
cool. Like, yeah, if you believe, you can actually hit that hole.
Yeah.
Just tap into the Force. The Force seems
If
cool.
it fucking works,
Yeah.
use it, man. Use it.
So what do you do? I mean, do you get mocked a lot for the Buddhism?
No.
Nobody ever makes fun of you?
No.
Really? People all just, nobody goes, yeah, whatever.
Well, by the way, I don't spend a lot of time marching up and down telling people
yeah.
I sit in front of a scroll and chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo twice a day.
Yeah.
I'm doing it on this podcast only because we
yourself.
decided that would be the subject matter. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The days of getting mocked, we live in an age. This is the postmodern age, brother. Like everything's all scattered and blasted. And nobody knows what's real and what's not real. So the days of getting mocked over religion, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess
you're right. Maybe that was like a 25-year-old thing.
I mean, I would find it, I guess, mildly entertaining if someone did it and was seriously upset. That would be interesting.
Have you seen that at all, or not really? Because you don't talk about it, I guess, to people, so they wouldn't even know to make.
No, I've never experienced. I mean, if anyone's mocking it, I've mocked it myself in my own, because I'm a comedian, and there's obviously a huge part of my personality that is constantly rolling its eyes at any variable that comes in front
I know
of
you
it.
used to do this thing where it's like, no, I'm trying to be a Buddhist, so I'm a vegetarian. And how's it going? I was like, well, today wasn't so good. I had a couple hamburgers.
Well, no, I really love Ram Dass, and I really connect with his teachings, and over the years of studying that stuff and really spending time thinking about it and reading about how his number one, it seemed like one of his number one motivations was just being honest about the way he was. So there's a story about him, he tells a story about being in front of a gay porn theater after he come back from India.
How long ago was this?
This is in the 70s.
Oh, okay,
maybe.
okay.
This is after he'd come back from India and was teaching people this spirituality.
Yeah.
But he's a fucking bisexual, horny dude.
Yeah, he has those desires.
He wants to fuck, and he likes to jerk off to fucking porn, man. And that's still where he's at. That's still the game that he's caught in. And so somebody recognized him standing in line at this theater and came up to him and was like, Ram Dass, oh. And he had this moment where he could have acted no, I'm not in line at this. Let's go you want to get a coffee and let's just talk. He could have made it seem like he was something special or something more than what he was. And
which is the tendency to be like,
let me be your teacher.
Yeah.
But what he did is he's like, hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm going in this theater now, so I can't hang out. And he fucking did it, man. He fucking did it because he didn't want to.
He's like, that's who I am.
That's who I am.
We're gonna pretend I wasn't about to do this.
Yeah. It's better for me to just live out my karma. Let this stuff run its course.
He wouldn't see those as someone sending this guy to him to help stop him from doing this evil thing.
That's because
that's what I see as coincidence. That's not a sign; it's just coincidence.
No, it's not a sign. It's just his the beauty of his philosophy is that it's very much about coming to terms with where you're at and acting from that place, and not coming to terms with where you want to be and then acting from the place that you want to be, or pretending that you're less than where you are and acting like more humble and modest than you need to. It's like just
like Rush Limbaugh calling that girl a slut even though he's cheated on his wife multiple times.
Yeah, he's a hypocrite. I mean, Rush Limbaugh is clearly a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah. Like, people do that. They're like, well, I want to be this person I want to be. I'm going to pretend to be that instead of the person that I am.
And you do, and look, and you know the number one way people do that shit, man? The number one way people do that?
What?
Fucking relationships. Like, you'll get into, like, you know, you meet a girl, you start fucking, you show your tail feathers. You know what I mean? You start off with, like, this and this and this and this and this and this and their good side.
Yeah.
And they show you their good side. And then fucking, you know, inevitably you're going to recognize that, no, humans are made up of millions of variables, and there's not all good there. There can't be.
There can't be.
So it's like, if you just get in the habit of approaching life from just where you're at, and not from where you want to be, and also not from, it's called phony holy. Don't be phony holy.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are.
And don't be phony unholy. And another thing is, don't act like you're some fucking sleazebag, dirty degenerate when you know inside you're like a really empathetic, sweet person who's just afraid to be kind.
That's what I don't like about a lot of people that are like Stanhope followers, where they want to be that, like, you know, degenerate, tortured by drugs.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, you're not. It's okay.
You're not.
It's okay if you're not, but you're not.
Yeah, you know, it's better, you know, it's the verse in the Bhagavad Gita, it's better to be an honest street sweeper than a dishonest king. Why are they always talking about
kings,
fucking
man.
kings?
Fucking kings everywhere.
Kings. That's the dumbest concept. Dude, the first person.
Yeah, it could have been just a guy that got hit by an arrow. Why a king?
No. There was a person. There's a person in time figured this shit out. There was a first person who's like,
let's change Larry to a king.
No, Larry was like, dude, I'm a king. And they're like, what's a king? And like, what the fuck do you think a king is?
Why don't you bow down and we'll talk about it?
Bow down, bitch. That's what a king is. Bow down or I cut your fucking head off. That's what a king is.
How do you get to do that? 'Cause I'm a fucking king.
Cut his head off. He just had a couple of tough friends. Fucking cut off the first guy's head who was wondering what a king is, and everybody else is a king. Bow down. He's a king. He'll cut off your head if you don't bow down. Fucking kings. That's a stupid. Kings is the dumbest idea. I can't believe there's still a fucking queen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's waiting to take over, like her kids or something. Or
Queens
whatever.
And princes and fucking dukes.
Do you ever get like embarrassed at all when you're around like a Hare Krishna? At your level of commitment to it?
No.
You don't ever. You don't feel like, oh, I should be doing this more.
Hare Krishna?
I don't know, like the super devout Buddhists, the people that are super into it, ones that dress that way.
Oh no, I mean Buddhism is not no. I don't have
Hare Krishnas have nothing to do with Buddhism? I'm not.
Hare Krishnas have nothing to do with Buddhism.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Hare Krishnas are.
What are they?
It's a form of bhakti yoga. It's a form of fundamentalist bhakti yoga.
Yoga?
Yeah, well, yoga is. People get confused about yoga and they think that it's just like bending and stretches. Yeah. But yoga is basically like it's a bunch of different methods to sort of tune in and plug into that thing that we're talking about. It's a handle. It's a bunch of different handles. So bhakti yoga is the yoga of love. And so it's the yoga of well, there's a lot of different versions of it. The version of it that I always liked was just the idea that everything around you is an expansion of God, and that anything that's happening, you should look at it as a interaction with the divine and treat it in that way. I think that
any sort of okay.
So all of this is God. Everything's God. Right. All of this is the
even if it was, and I've sort of heard that idea before, like God is everywhere, but then it's like, yeah, but I don't think he wants us worshiping everything everywhere all the time.
No, God is like, it's like, I think spending all your time like fucking.
He's like, no, I put this here for you. I gave you a dollhouse so you could play with it.
Yeah, play with the dollhouse. Don't fucking worship me. I made this fucking dollhouse. I painted this painting.
Yeah.
It's like some artist who painted a lot of beautiful paintings and everyone wants to take pictures of the artist. It's like, hey, dumb, look at I fucking painted this thing. Have some fun. This is a playground. Why aren't you having fun in this incredible, beautiful, dangerous, wild, pussy-covered theme park I invented for you? Why are you spending all your time fucking miserable and sad and judgmental? I'd be pissed. It's like fucking, think how Walt Disney would feel if like Disneyland was just filled with kids sitting in pews surrounded by empty roller coasters.
Because everyone's taking pictures of Disney?
Yeah, no, just because everyone's like,
God damn it.
Everyone's living like ridiculous, devout lives, and instead of like going for it and having fun. Jump in there, man. Go for it. Do your fucking thing.
When did you first get into this junk? I'm sorry, the stuff. I didn't mean it that way.
It really offends me when you call it
I meant junk, like whatever stuff.
I don't really get offended in that way.
Yeah, well, I wasn't using junk that way. It just came out.
I know, Ari.
Okay, but what? So when did you start getting into it?
Since I was super very young, I found my mom started getting into this shit, and I found this book called Raja Yoga by Yogi Ramacharaka, and as it turned out, it was the book itself was Yogi Ramacharaka was like an English guy named like Jason Tomberley or something who changed his name to Yogi Ramacharaka. Like if you look it up on Wikipedia, it's hilarious. Like there was some like deception involved there, but the book had in it, you know, different like some basic like mental tricks you can do to start distancing yourself from your ego.
Oh, so you just happened upon it?
Well, it was in my mom's bookshelf, you know. It was cool. It had a cool triangle on the back of it.
It's amazing how much stuff you can get into just because you chanced upon something when you were little or whatever, it just stuck with you.
Yeah.
Even like music you like, it's like, I don't know, I heard it. This cool older person told me about it, and then I just always liked it.
You got to get lucky, man. You have to stumble onto that stuff. If you're lucky, you stumble onto that stuff.
I think a lot of that stuff is constantly around. And so, like, here or there, different things that might help you are just there. So if you're just open to it.
That's exactly right.
You know, it's like maps all the time.
If you're fucking open, like, you know, this is the problem that I have with, you know, hyper skeptics and people who are turned off to every possible ideas. It's like, well, the idea of this fucking thing. It's like we had Lou Barlow on the podcast when we were doing the Lavender Hour a long time ago, and Lou Barlow, we popped Lou Barlow a question, expecting an answer, saying, "What do you think of Kesha?" Because Lou Barlow is like an indie god. Yeah. He's an indie god. He's like so fucking cool and so genius.
And so we're expecting to shit on Kesha.
We're expecting to shit on Kesha. And his response was, you know, if music moves me, if a song makes me feel something, then I think there's something there and it's good. Yeah. And some of Kesha's songs do that for me. Right. So it's like, oh, that's the attitude.
Yeah, it's so easy to shit on everything all the time. You're like, I don't know, why? I like Pink.
Well, it's just, and that's a state of closing down all your energy sources.
Or it's just like I'm not really into it, and that's it. Like why would it bother you?
It's just lazy.
It's played on pop radio.
It's lazy. I've been around people who are like hyper fucking who are hyper critical of things, and I actually, as a game, would bring up random subject matters. I just try to think of anything and bring it up to see what would happen. And every time they'd shit on it, no matter what it was. And then I realized, oh,
they just shit on things.
You're just shitting on everything in the universe. And so the what that is what you're dealing with there is you're dealing with like somebody who has who's a bit polluted, whose ego is it's basically like it's like having a little turd stuck in your water faucet, and all your water's going to taste like shit until you get that turd out.
That'd be a horrible water purifier.
You got to get the turd out, man. If you don't get that little turd out of your heart, then everything around you is going to suck.
I'm so lazy. I know. Just keep drinking, and eventually it'll go away.
I know so many people are like that, too, dude. But that's the thing. So I've been there, dude. I've been in turd water land, and like, it's like simple little, like when you become a passive, lazy turd water drinker, you'll notice that like you'll do things like if you're in a restaurant and you're at a seat that you don't like, instead of being like, hey, can I move to another seat? You'll just be like, I'm just gonna sit here.
I think there's a lot of people who enjoy that pain.
Absolutely.
Who just, I don't know if they're drama queens or whatever it is, but they get off on being able to complain about stuff.
Oh, they love it.
I have a friend, anytime he gets stuck in the middle seat on a plane, he just waits till he gets off so he can bitch about the kid that was sitting next to him or whatever. And it's like, dude, it's a fucking 4-hour plane ride. Relax.
Well, no, now
you're pissing me off.
This is fucking S&M, man.
Yeah, why are we still talking about it?
People, it's just because people love
revisiting their pain.
Love to suffer. They love to exist in that universe, and they being that, you just got to you either have to transform those people if you can, or you got to get them the fuck out of your life.
I've tried doing that. I have friends. I don't even want to mention them because it's just there's just those people get mad at everything. So it's like I don't even want to like give them advice sometimes. Like I try, then it's like, oh, if you're gonna get mad at me, then forget it. I'll just separate myself.
Give them the snip.
Yeah.
You got to, man.
It's like I try to love. It's like, hey, have you considered this? And then if they don't, then it's like, all right. If they immediately attack you, then it's like, all right, whatever.
Well, it's like this. You know when you like cook with garlic?
Yeah.
And after you cook with garlic, you walk out of the house and you smell like garlic because it's so pungent it gets into your clothes.
Yeah.
So in that same way, certain people are so negative that it's not just a headache to be around them and listening to their nauseating discourse on how miserable everything in the universe is. When you walk away from them, you carry some of their fucking stink on you.
Yeah.
And if you're around them enough, then you'll start sinking down into that place. It's contagious.
Yeah, it is, huh?
Yeah, it's bad, man. So you got to fucking give people, courageous.
Yeah, I've been doing that a lot more lately, where it's just like I just change the subject, or I'll just like, anyway, or just excuse me. It's just like this bores me. I just don't want to. I just don't feel like talking about it.
Yeah, can you stop psychically sneezing on me? Do you mind?
That's what it is. Every time they talk about their nightmare of a day or their nightmare of a week, it's like, it doesn't sound so bad. Let's just talk about The Simpsons. It was a good episode this week.
Doesn't sound bad at all. In fact, you know what you sound like to me? You sound like a fucking whiny pussy.
Yeah.
That's what you sound like to me. You sound like, how are you complaining about anything in this world? Generally, everything's great, dude. Fuck dying. They fixed dying.
What do you mean? Yeah.
The drugs they have now for when you've got when you're like going out, when you've got cancer, they fucking got like the sweet shit. You get injected with some like, goddamn, some of the badass painkillers that they've got now. It's like,
they said about, this was 10 years ago, this study by British scientists, that every other child born in England, as of 10 years ago, will live to 100.
Wow.
That's the kind of medicine we're dealing with now.
Wow.
Every other one out of two, will live to see 100. Not like, it's amazing, you went to 100. Like, that should be the average, and it's just getting better.
They've got fucking quadricopters. They've got World of Warcraft. Weed is legal almost in California. They've got fucking fleshlights, endless access to pornography. We've got you can go to the grocery store and get delicious organic meals for...
Yeah, so would Buddhism say, like, if you really like porn, fucking go for it?
Go for it.
Wow. So it's really not like a religion in that it's not...
Ain't about judgment, man.
It's not about, like, what's the thing where does all religions do, like, say, besides Buddhism, where it just brings you down? There's a word for it.
Well, no, it's called... No. It's called the priest class, or the god clowns, as I like to call them, or the vampires.
Yeah.
What they want to do is they want to wrap you up in fear words so that they can have control over you. And so what they do is first thing they start on always is sex.
Yeah.
That's the first place they attack because...
I heard somebody on the radio today. She's like, well, I'm a Catholic, so obviously I don't want them shoving their beliefs. They're making us legally change our beliefs. And it's like offering birth control it's just health insurance. You don't have to get it. You can still offer it. But, like, Jews aren't allowed to offer fucking bacon?
Yeah, it's terrible. The Catholics really are fucking... all those fucking...
Those people aren't Catholic. Let them use birth control.
These fucking S&M cunts, man, they just want to seal up everybody's pussy. Here's the thing. You want to know the great conspiracy? I'll tell you the conspiracy. You want to know the great conspiracy in the world?
What?
There's a war on against the orgasm. These people don't want us jizzing. They don't want us coming hard. They don't want us fucking. They don't want us to experience the incredible satisfaction that comes from fucking. They hate it. They don't want people coming, and so that's where they start. They attack you. They say it's impure or dirty. They create these silly ideas like if you want to have that feeling, you've got to marry someone and only stick your cock in their pussy for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
really?
Like, why?
Why have you done that to us? Why? The reason
it's so ingrained now.
Yeah, but you know why they've done it?
Why?
Because you fucking repress that sex drive.
Yeah.
You get that sex drive nice and wrapped up and fucked up, and you hold it in there, then you create neuroses. And when you create neuroses, you have damaged people. And guess what damaged people love?
What?
They love to give their power to other people. They fucking love it. So that's when they come to
the priest say?
Help help me? Can you help me, Father? Can you help me? I don't understand why I feel so bad. You feel bad because you haven't had a good blowjob in the last 10 years.
It's amazing. It's amazing what it does to your, like, just your whole persona. You're upset about a job you lost or you didn't get. You're all upset about certain things. And then you have good sex and you're just like, yeah, I guess I gotta find another job.
Healed.
But whatever.
Sexual healing.
Yeah.
There's fucking, it's the greatest, it's one of the greatest
Feel good. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have a job, but I feel great. I don't know what it is.
It's one of the best things there is. And these bastards want to keep us out of that room. They want to keep us out of a lot of great rooms. And because they don't want people to be liberated and feel free and autonomous and happy.
And they have to feel guilty whenever you do cheat, which most people do.
Imagine this. Being incredibly happy, right?
Yeah.
Really, really happy. Really happy and understanding how beautiful the world is.
Yeah.
Now imagine being that level of happiness and being like, oh, guys, I got to go to the confessional booth and talk to this guy about how bad I am. It's never going to work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work when you're happy. This shit only works if you're miserable, and so they got to make you miserable, and the way they make you miserable is they invent these idiotic rules designed to keep you from enjoying life at the level that you can, and it throws your whole machine into a
now,
state
you
of
think
fuck.
it was that thought out, or was it just developed over years
Oh,
into
yeah,
this thing?
yeah, I think it's a power dynamics. It's just like did kudzu figure out how to like wrap around a tree and suffocate the tree? Was it thought out? It's just a power move, man. It's like when a tiger's clamping its mouth on a fucking.
So there's no like list of like, here's what we're gonna try to accomplish and here's how we're gonna do it.
I think it happens in the same way like evolution happens, but at a much faster. But I don't think like some guys like, hey guys, let's make people feel really sexually repressed so they freak out, go crazy, and then come to us to heal them.
They just they made them feel sexually repressed. Like, ooh, this works.
Yeah, no, it's like, oh wait, this gives me more power. It feels, you feed off of it. They feed off of it, and then you begin to like adapt according to ways that increase your power.
Man, I wonder what a lot of power feels like, because it gets to everybody. It must be like this drug. I mean, everybody gets corrupted by it, right? Almost.
I mean, I think that's one of those things. I mean, it just depends. Yeah, I think I think what people get corrupted by is not the power. I think what people get corrupted by is knowing that at their core they're fucking lying.
Yeah, I guess it also is what is corruption. Like if this priest like end up fucking a woman from their flock, like a grown woman.
Yeah,
like, corruption. Like, that's not corruption.
How could he have done that?
Yeah, they're just attracted to each other.
How could he have done that?
She's into priest and he's into sweet hot puss.
Oh no! How could he have done that? It's insanity. It's madness, and it really is a. I think it's going to be an antiquated thing. That's
pretty soon. I feel like when Christians now say we can't give birth control, whatever it is. I'm just thinking that because that's on people's minds right now. But it's like a part of me looks at like, what? Are you even kidding? Like, what? Are you serious? Like, I don't even understand that point of view. Like, what's wrong with you?
About, you fucking.
You haven't even put your mind to this.
What are you talking about? Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Go find a fucking cave and go into the cave and fucking just sit and do cave drawings like some primitive fucking freak that you are. What are you, birth control? Don't tell me what to fucking put in my body, you fuck.
Yeah, I love that too. They have to make those women take extra sonograms because they're not capable of making such an important decision. Because women are so stupid is what they're saying.
And by the way,
they can't make their own decisions. They have to see a picture of their baby.
Let me just say this.
What?
This will
like they don't know what abortion is.
This will infuriate people. I fucking really do not like the concept of abortion. I hate it. I hate the idea of fucking of what it is. But god damned if I'm going to be the fucking one who like tells people that they can or can't do that. It's not my fucking place. I'm not a biologist.
Here's how I feel. Here's what I feel. I feel it's like it's pretty clearly a human life. It's getting going and it's going to survive in the womb. So you don't really have to do anything for it to keep going. But we've all agreed we want more convenience. So we're just not we're gonna kill it.
So yeah, and that to me seems like a kind of a decision like can't the baby just get adopted? Like don't people want to adopt babies?
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Yeah, so it's sell it and make some money.
And organs and fucking soup. But I don't know. But that being said, I don't think it's anyone's right to impose.
Yeah, the problem is it is still a woman's body.
Yeah, it's still their fucking body.
So it's like both.
Man.
It is a life, and it's about. That's why I love the argument.
It's their body.
It's the two people call themselves pro-life and pro-choice. Those aren't against each other. They're both pro-life.
Yeah.
And they're both for a woman's right to choose things, but they just choose one side of it.
Look,
neither one of those is wrong. Life is good and choice is good.
I'll tell you one thing I fucking love about the abortion issue.
What?
I don't have to worry about it. I can't get fucking pregnant, and I think my fucking sperm are probably just broken.
The weirdest thing is, what if a guy wants to have a baby, and then the girl's like, no, I'm going to abort it. And you're like, well, is there any legal recourse I can do to not let you kill my baby? And you have none.
Yeah.
That obviously doesn't affect us at all, because we're like, yeah, please get rid of it.
That doesn't affect us at all. That is definitely not something I ever...
Or how about like, well, if you're going to have this, that's your decision, you're on your own now. I want nothing to do with it. You can't do that either.
Can't do. You know what I love, man?
Such a downer, babies.
Did you read that book, Sex at Dawn?
No.
It's really fucking cool, man. But like, what it's talking about in one tribe, they believe that a baby does not come from one blast of jizz.
Yeah.
They believe that a baby is made up of a lot of different jizz that kind of forms together and makes the baby.
Oh, I know they have a lot of races where it's like everybody fucks women, and then when they're born, they're like, it's all of ours.
So it's like, it's building blocks that build the baby, so you never know who your father is.
Yeah, so everyone takes care of every kid.
Yeah.
Because they're all ours.
Yeah. It's pretty fucking cool. I mean, it's an absolute...
and I say women just can't handle a non-monogamous relationship. It's like, no, people do it all over the world. People do it.
Dude, Sex at Dawn, this book, you mentioned...
Who wrote it?
I can't remember.
Okay.
Google
Sex
it.
at
I
Dawn.
just bought it. It's fucking
Probably
great.
the only book called that.
But you mention it to people who are in a monogamous relationship.
They get angry, right?
They just don't want to hear it. They're like, no.
Yeah, but then when they say things like that, I was just talking about this to somebody, when they say like, whatever, man, I just know I could not handle my girl, fooling around somebody else.
Can't.
You're like, but that sounds the same as like, dude, I don't want gays to from my military. I just know it. Or it's like, I don't want some faggot touching me. I just know. Or I don't want these blacks in my neighborhood. Whatever you say, bro, they're going to fuck things up. I know.
Right.
And it's like, you can't have an argument like that. You can't have a discussion like that.
Well, man, I'll tell you, if you could do
I just know.
If you could do whatever the pull-up was that was necessary to like alleviate that fear of your girl or your guy fucking somebody else, and it really didn't bother you, that's a powerful position to be in, man. That's a really cool, powerful position.
I love that
to
one.
be
Girls
in.
like angrily say, what if I had sex with somebody else? Like, yeah, I mean, of course you should. If do you like them, then you should totally go for it.
Yeah.
And they get like angry. Like, what?
Well, no, because the problem is it gets into this control dynamic, you know.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a tool, like if I flirt with this guy, my boyfriend's gonna get jealous. I'm gonna make it's that thing. And if once you eliminate that altogether, where you're like, I'm not jealous at all. I've just decided that I want you to have a great life.
Yeah.
I want you to experience any kind of experience you want to have. I want you to evolve.
I always picture this, like, let's say you had this girl that you liked in high school, really liked, just never worked out. You had a girlfriend, she had a boyfriend, whatever it was, you just couldn't get it together. She didn't know you liked her, whatever it was. You always sort of, you've had girls like that, I'm sure, that you still look at fondly from your past. And then for whatever reason, they're going to be in your town, they find you on Facebook or whatever. Yeah. They're going to be in your town, you're like, oh, we're going to do this. And you're single, and you end up like talking to them, and you end up having sex, and that's a good ending to that story.
Yes.
But you're with somebody on her one leave from the army, so now you can't do it because you're in this 6-month relationship. So you couldn't finish the story that way.
It's so.
It just
sad.
seems like, no, finish your story. Just fuck them. It's okay. Anyway, whatever.
There's so many blowjobs that.
How many? How do girls react to this Buddhism stuff to you?
Man, pretty much anybody that I tell it to, I think they end up either like liking it or just like doing like be nice to the crazy guy. But I think people like the concept, the concept that is part of Buddhism. But I think it's much bigger than that. They like the concept that you don't have to, if you're not happy with where you're at in your life, things can get substantially better if you just apply yourself and like figure out tools to get your way out of the fucking cave-in.
Good fans. They're coming to see us probably.
Shut up. Yeah. We must look like douchebags. We're standing here holding
the microphone. I know, I get so embarrassed. I lowered it. You were just telling me about the guy who went into a gay porno and he was fine with it.
And I lowered it.
And we're like, oh, I can't let them see. We're recording this thing. They probably know us from already.
It's hard to be real. It's hard to be the fucking be yourself.
It's hard to be that Govinda Jaya, whatever his name is.
Hell, man, I'm no fucking Ram Dass. Give me a break. That guy was like fucking went to India with goddamn acid made by Albert Owsley and like fucking was blasted on like high quality fucking super hippie acid.
That's amazing that I was just thinking, like, that's so cool that guy went to a gay porno.
Hide the mic!
And they're like,
don't let him see it. Don't let him see we're talking about.
I'm embarrassed that I'm doing something.
Well, no, now you're embarrassed that you're embarrassed.
Yeah, and if I lift it back up, now it's like I'm the guy who did.
Now you're the moment you lift the mic up, now you're contrived. Now you're trying to show off. It's like an endless change. Yeah, it's great. It's like what you're experiencing is a kind of like fucking cognitive dissonance. It's like this feedback loop where you get off track and stop being yourself.
I do this sometimes when I'm in a hotel room and I'll have like a book that I'm reading, and let's just say it's like a smartsy book. Like I was rereading Catcher in the Rye.
Okay.
It's one of those things. It's like it's cool to read.
Yeah.
You know, or a Nietzsche book, things like that.
Sure.
And so then I'll like start to leave my hotel room, but I'm like, if a girl comes back, I want her to see it, so I'll turn the book over so it's like so that she can see the cover.
Oh, yeah,
and then I took 2 steps away, and I'm like, what am I doing? And then I go turn it back over. I'm like, wait, which one do you want now?
Yeah.
Now you're going out of your way to not show it. Like just, and then I have to hide the whole book.
It's exhibitionism.
But then you're aware of it, and it makes it gross.
I mean, the best thing to be is to be like, just admit what you're doing. Like, you know, if you like a girl and you're fucking given the spiritual rap.
Yeah.
And you're given the spiritual rap partially because you want her to be happy, but partially because you want to fuck her.
Yeah.
Have some guts and admit that's what you're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, dude.
Do you ever bring it out? Do you ever bring out the Buddhism stuff to try to seal the deal? I know you do.
Of course.
Girls get turned on by it. Also, nobody else talks that way.
Let me just say this. I used to do it more, and the last time where I found myself talking to a girl about the spiritual stuff, I stopped.
Because you saw what you were doing?
I stopped and I said to her, I want you to know I'm telling you the spiritual stuff, but I also want to sleep with you.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because it's like I didn't want to like.
Let's not confuse the issue. I'll help you. I'll share these things, but like,
don't get confused.
I'm not trying to save your soul. I'm trying to fuck you.
No, I would love for you to save your soul. I would love for you to be in the part of the multiverse where you're the most happy. But the part of the multiverse where I would be happy right now happens to be with you naked.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and I think that if you. You know, I think it's okay in that way, but if you get into the whole slimy like thing where you're
then
like,
it becomes like the game.
Yeah, don't
where
do
like
that.
I'll drop this Buddhism stuff on them.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Just the best way to be is just tune into what you really are like and be that fucking thing and ride that wave. And you'll end up in so many. You do that all the time, Ari. You're one of the most honest people ever.
Yeah, I usually tell people girls especially what I want or expect, or you know.
Just fucking be that thing.
I don't want to mislead anybody.
Be that thing. Be brave enough to be that thing, and it'll take you to some pretty awesome places, and a lot of uncomfortable places too.
What's he doing? Oh, quick. Okay, that makes sense. Can you explain the multiverse quickly?
Yeah.
Is there a way to do it quickly?
Yeah.
Okay. That
right now, every single possibility that could possibly be happening is happening
in different planes of.
Yeah, and that your neurology only allows you to see the present moment, not all points in time and space. Yeah. So we exist in this kind of fractal matrix of potentiality.
Okay.
It's a fractal matrix. It's infinitely deep.
Yeah. That's not like over time every possibility will happen. That's everything is happening right now.
Well, you can say over time every possibility will happen, or you can say there is no time. There's just everything happening, and our neurology creates the illusion of time. You can paint it however way you want it, but the idea is knowing that every single possibility is happening. When you go for a goal or you go for something you really want, it creates this new paradigm where it's not that you're going for this goal that doesn't exist, it's that you're sailing your subjective life ship through the multiverse to exist in the node of potentiality that you want to be at.
You lost me.
So the idea is like the thing that you really want is actually happening right now. The part of yourself, whatever the thing is you really want.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, let's make quantifiable, attainable goals here. I'm not talking about you growing butterfly wings and flying to the moon and starting a moon colony. I'm saying, like, you in good shape. You with the job you want. You with the girl you want. You with the fucking whatever the thing is.
Okay.
That's existing right now. You're just not currently in that specific part of the multiverse.
You mean like it's somewhere in some other dimension?
Yeah. Yeah,
almost.
you say dimension, even though that's kind of the wrong word for it. I don't know the right word for it. I like to call it nodes.
I'm watching Fringe a lot, and they have this, like, everything's going on together in different areas.
Yeah.
In different, like, dimensions, pretty much.
So using your, the idea is like you use your imagination and you picture as clearly as you can the thing that you really want. You write it down, make it quantifiable, make it a quantifiable thing.
Imagine.
In the same way, like if you're on an airplane and you're flying to some place, you know exactly the GPS coordinates of that place. The pilot knows the exact GPS coordinates of the place.
Yeah.
Pilot doesn't like call back and say, "Okay, everybody, we're going somewhere around Illinois."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and if the pilot did do that, you would probably land somewhere around Illinois, but you wouldn't get to where you want to be. So you've got to be very specific in knowing what you want. Very detailed in your imaginings of it, and you've got to write it down.
And so that you're saying that is happening now. So just make that.
So make a connection with the visualization. When you visualize this thing as clearly as you can, you're shooting a fucking grappling hook from the part of the multiverse that you're in right now to the part of the multiverse you want to be in via the imagination of the thing.
And then that'll become a thing.
And then you fucking work your ass off to climb that thread that you shot from this place to that place so that the imagining of the thing stops being imagining and crystallizes as reality.
Goddamn Rogan being so goddamn popular. There's no parking here.
Do you really think all these people are coming to the show?
Yep. There's seats 300. There's about 6,000 cars here. I think that's they're all at the show. No, I don't.
6,000 cars.
Yeah, that makes sense. I started trying to write an hour this year, just to see if I could do it, and then I figured I'd just tell everybody.
There you go.
To lock myself in.
There you go.
And then I've been able to sort of do it.
Yeah, there you go.
Deserved. Yeah, I've been like, I'm on pace.
That's it. You got to write it. You just got to do. You have to start making, like, writing it down. Just write. So many people, man. You go up to so many people. You go up to someone and say, "What do you want? What do you fucking want in life? What do you want?" And they don't know. They'll look at you like, and almost always they'll be like, I'd like to be a nicer person.
It's like, why haven't you thought about it?
No, it's like nicer person. Not that's an unquantifiable thing that just leaves you in lazy land. It's like, what do you fucking want?
Make goals so then you can get there, or you can't get there, but know where you're going.
At least have the fucking direction.
Yeah, when you fish, you're like, well, we're going to try to get trout. What do trout eat? Let's get those worms.
Yeah, when you go hunting.
You don't just be like, I don't know, fish.
When you go hunting, you're hunting for, exactly. You're
something specific. Like, well, let's go where the deer are if we want deer. Don't just wander until you find, hopefully, something.
So you come up with a quantifiable fucking goal. Come up with a metaphysical system that allows you to get towards that goal. And if it's not a metaphysical system, come up with a fucking whatever system. But just get there. Just get there, because it's fun.
Yeah, that all makes sense. You have any dates coming up or anything?
Yeah, I'm going to be at the Moon...
Yeah, you're right. Just get there. I like that.
Just get there. I'm going to be at the Moon Tower Comedy Festival in April. I've got a bunch of dates coming up.
What about stuff where you get paid to people to come see you? Oh, do you have a website where that's going to be?
Yeah, DuncanTrussell.com. Join my